self-driving right now?
We are.
Whoa. Oh, so that was all the car?
That was all the car.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I haven't been driving since I picked you up.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
All right, we are rolling up on our next customer. Let's have some fun.
Have you used it? Like,
Oh yeah. Actually, I haven't been driving since I picked you up.
oh, wow, that's crazy.
So I'm a full self-driving beta tester. Tesla granted me access to their complete autonomy. So yeah, for the last few months, I've been really putting it through the ringer as a robotaxi, you know, carrying customers around all the time, dealing with the randomness of Southern California, whether it's San Diego, Chula Vista, LA, Temecula.
Oh, so you drive around a lot?
Yeah, customer to customer. I mean, I could pick up someone after you that needs to go to Rancho Cucamonga. Like, you never know.
You get rides that far?
Oh yeah, my farthest ride was from Chula Vista to Victorville,
Oh, wow.
which is north of San Bernardino. That's probably the farthest trip.
The Beta is like, it even drives in the city, right?
Yeah, the Beta is basically the rest of the equation. So handling things like this, like it got into this lane, it turned the signal on, and as long as it's not too complicated, we should flow right through this corner with no problem. Of course, I'm here to take over in a split second if I need to, just in case it does something strange, because being a beta, it's not perfect.
Right.
It's great literally 98% of the time, based on all the data I've gathered. But that 2% is pretty critical. You know, that's when, on the very rare occasion, it wants to get into the wrong lane, including like an oncoming traffic through a city street, and I'm like, no.
Right.
Relax, relax. There you go. It's kind of like what's happening. These lanes are doing weird things. But that was pretty good. Oh, now it's braking a little bit too much. See, it used to be 10 times worse than that. Like, that was kind of whatever, but it used to be like, what, why?
Instant stop?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you touched the steering wheel to get it off? Or?
There's a few different ways. I can either flick the stock up, which disengages it, or I can tap the brake like you would for cruise control, or I can grab the wheel, just like that. But now we're still in adaptive cruise, so the throttle is still doing its thing. And then if I hit it one more time, now I'm fully in control. But it's all very quick. That way, if anything weird happens, you know, I'm there to catch it.
Yeah.
That's why Tesla is careful to release their beta software to select people, you know, that they vetted to be safe enough to use the system.
Yeah, we told us when we got dropped off that our Uber in for free to pick us up. So
Oh,
okay,
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was real cool. She's like, yeah, go find him.
Wait, are we self-driving right now?
We are.
Whoa.
That is probably the fastest
Wait, so how
that
does
somebody's
that
caught on.
How does that work? Like, do you have to keep your foot on the gas or anything, or what's the?
No, so I'm actually a full self-driving beta tester, so I have the complete AI that can do everything.
Okay.
The way it works, to put it in real simple terms, is it has 8 eyes and 2 brains. It's got a dual processing unit that is able to able to process all the image data it gets from the 8 cameras. There's 3 in the front, there's 1 under each mirror, and 1 in the back that I can pull up here. And then there's 1 in each B-pillar. And it's all ran on deep learning computer vision. So literally like we do, it is looking and interpreting the world around it in real time. Whether it's different sized vehicles, pedestrians, even dogs now.
Get to be physically in the driver's seat for it to work?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The legal stipulations are the driver is required to be here and attentive at all times. You're not allowed to try to game the system, hop into the other seat. Consumer Reports had a ridiculous article trying to show people how to game the system and claiming it was unsafe, which is akin to saying that it's any different from putting a brick on a gas car's throttle and saying that that's unsafe.
So the AI is slowing down right now.
Yep.
Because it sees the runner.
Because it sees the runner. You can see him here on the screen. Actually, it'll make it a little bit more enjoyable for you if I put this in day mode. Well, you'll notice the chalkiness is basically the confidence level. So the more high def the lines, the more sure the car is of what's around it. This is what's known as the vector space, where it's putting all the data into a visualization. And it sees quite far. It thinks there's people up here, but it'll correct that because there's a lot of poles and shaders that it's looking at.
Did you guys have to like apply to this program? Like,
I had to request access, yeah. Yeah, in September, people who had full self-driving were able to request access to the beta. And we had to be vetted. So Tesla basically reviewed me for 15 days because I managed to keep a perfect safety score. I had a 100 out of 100 over about 5,000 kilometers. So, and that was with real world driving like I am with you guys. And so on October 11th, they pushed the system to my car, and now I'm helping to train it. You know, I'm able to put it through the ringer with the way I drive, literally anywhere. It's about as random training case as you can get with me. Yeah, there used to be only about 1,800, and then when they gave that button to request access, oh man, like all of us wanted it.
Yeah.
That's why it was funny when you would see the occasional FUD article or fear, uncertainty, doubt, like a hit piece trying to criticize Tesla for like using its customers as guinea pigs for their self-driving. When it's like, no, but we want to. We are begging Tesla to let us do it.
Someone who's not in the beta program, what's the functionality of their car? Like, can it?
As far as autopilot, it's
Yeah.
highway. Yeah, it can't do what it's doing now, like this left turn and going through residential.
Oh, it can't.
No.
Nope. The standard autopilot is meant for highway use. Now, full self-driving can stop at lights and stop signs, but only progressing in a straight line. So when it comes to actually turn left or right, the owner would have to take
So
over.
if I were to buy a Tesla tomorrow, how long would it take me to get on this program?
So you would have to first make sure you have full self-driving, which is either going to be $12,000 up front or $200 a month.
Is it like an upgrade to the like baseline model? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a software
yeah.
upgrade that you can get anytime too. You don't have to get that like
Yeah,
when you
that's
buy it. But so once saying you have that, then you request access to the beta, which gives Tesla permission to watch your driving, to measure your braking or following distance, your aggressive braking, aggressive cornering, to make sure that you're safe.
Oh.
And if, as of right now, if you can keep that safety score at 98 or above, out of 98 out of 100 or above for over 100 miles, you would then be granted access to the beta.
Oh, cool.
That was a little aggressive. We are on a hill. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm gonna take over because that's just the car being hyper safe.
Yeah.
Which
Oh, so that was all the car.
that was all a car.
Okay.
Yeah. In moments like that,
Oh,
I
at
kind
least
of
it knew. No, it's like
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
comforting that it knows.
yeah. Oh yeah. Its primary directive is do not crash. And it's in a lot of ways it performs to try to keep your comfort, but in instances like that, it was just kind of in freak out mode, like whoa, what's happening?
Yeah.
But it's better that than hit.
I'd like to know what insurance companies are covering you right now.
I'm just with USAA.
And they would allow, and there was no issues. Self-driving is under that.
So no, so this is where there's an interesting lack of a precedent here when it comes to self-driving technology. So the system that Tesla is using, this beta system, it is classed as a level 2 system, which is similar to advanced cruise control. Because it requires a driver in the seat. I am responsible. I'm technically still in control of the vehicle at all times. The car is only self-driving as much as I allow it to. So that's where the insurance side and the legal side is sitting at the moment. But if it was classified as a level 4 or 5 system where it's like regulatorily approved as a self-driving car, yeah, that's a whole nother conversation, and one that's going to be important in the future for Tesla insurance as well as other insurance companies. Because it is going to be interesting, like who's at fault? What happens if this happens or that happens?
Right.
As it stands now, I am completely and fully reliable and responsible. Yeah, anytime any Tesla owner puts their vehicle on autopilot, it actually tells us, be ready and have your hands on the wheel, ready to take over at all times.
Mm.
So there's no getting around it or trying to blame the car. It's such a beautiful area.
I learned so much. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. It's one of the reasons I love doing this. I get to geek out with everybody.
So I read on your app that this is like a protocol that they're doing with Tesla. Is that right?
Oh, me being a beta tester?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a full self-driving beta tester. I have the complete autonomy. Like this car can do everything.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's not specifically through Lyft or Uber. It's something I put on my profile just to kind of spark interest.
Yeah.
I've been curious to see if it would actually make anybody go, wait, what?
Well, there you go. Someone did.
Yeah, you're the first. That's interesting. This corner is notoriously hard for it. I typically take over here.
Yeah.
When there's nobody around, it handles it okay. But when you have a bunch of humans that don't know how to stay in their own lane, it gets pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's like, no, don't worry, I'll take over. We'll eliminate the human error.
Well, I know that not with Tesla, but they had sampled some self-driving cars for, I don't know if it was Lyft or Uber in Pittsburgh because it's so complicated there.
We'll take over there. I know there's some of that too in Vegas.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten the chance to, especially being somebody who has the tech, I
Yeah.
really want to cross-reference
and
and like see how the other ones are doing. Because typically, I think, I'm about 90% sure they're Waymo-based vehicles. They're Google
Yeah.
autonomous drive. So yeah, I'm always curious to compare notes. Because Tesla's approach is very different from everybody
That's
else.
the same from everyone else.
Literally everybody else. They all want to use LiDAR and radar and every sensor under the sun. But Tesla's whole idea behind their engineering is first principles physics. Eliminate unnecessary parts. you know, you don't want to over-engineer. So they're down to just cameras. It's just computer vision.
Wow.
No expensive LiDAR or complicated radar anymore. It's all just cheap cameras with really good AI.
And it's amazing too, like how it like picks up on everything.
Yeah, it's literally seeing everything as if it's seen it for the first time as well. The people,
Yeah,
even
the
dogs.
people, yeah.
It shows dogs now. That blew my mind yesterday.
Oh, that's a new piece.
Yeah, the actual animation of it. So before we actually had the vector space kind of cleaned up to show objects, it was kind of just squares, just like data squares.
Yeah.
And it would show a little data square for a dog, but there was never like an actual animation for it.
Wow.
Now there is.
That's so like if you feel like it's not going to handle a turn or something like that, you just like tap a button.
Just bam, I'm already in control.
Oh,
that
wow.
fast. Yeah.
That's good.
From a robotaxi reliability perspective, it's already about 50% reliable, which I did not expect. I expected it to be quite a bit worse.
Yeah.
Because that requires no intervention. Because if I wasn't here and it messed up, you're not getting to your destination.
Exactly.
So that's the way I view it. It's a little harsh for the way the system is now, but I want to see how it handles and grows. Downtown is kryptonite. It can't do it.
Oh, yeah.
It's between the poorly designed streets and one-ways and the myriad of homeless and pedestrians and scooters and cyclists, and it's just, the car just kind of has a panic attack. Like, I don't know what to do.
How does it handle the one-ways? Is that like programmed in, or?
One-ways it's smart with, because it does partially rely on map data, like Google and such, to know that certain roads are one way, but it's also, with its 8 cameras, looking and interpreting in real time. And there's kind of a question to be held about how much signage it can read, because it does read and adjust on speed limit signs. And of course it sees stop signs and markings in the road and such. But I know it can't read no turn on red, because it'll want to turn on red even if there's a sign. I'm not sure if it can see the one-ways, but it knows whether it's map data or visually.
Oh yeah, and it even shows the lights.
Yeah.
And the crosswalks.
Yeah, it's very impressive in that sense. It handles roundabouts like a pro, 4-way stops with yielding.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's really good at all that.
Some people could really use that in their car just for that purpose.
Yeah, I usually often joke it never forgets its turn signal. Sometimes it turns it on unnecessarily, like a really sharp corner. It'll turn on the turn signal. It's like, no, you don't need to do that. Like right now it's trying to get over. There we go. That was good. But here's a good example. We've got construction and little awnings and just weird things you don't typically find like on normal city streets.
Yeah.
When it can handle downtown like a boss, I'll know the system's ready.
Yeah. This is cool to like ride in it and see this. Because definitely the last time we were in the Tesla, the driver didn't have this capacity that you have.
Yeah, it's still pretty rare, because they also want to make sure they don't just hand out this tech to anybody, because there's a liability concern. So far on the beta, there hasn't been a single incident. And they want to keep it that way. The public builds, it's had its accidents because owners get complacent.
Right.
But this is clean, and that's why any beta tester like myself, we were vetted.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, and so, took over there, because that was not the car's fault. That was my fault. I was distracted talking. That was our turn.
I'm so sorry.
That's funny.
Sorry.
Credit where credit's due. That was the human error.
I wonder if it says something like you're getting close to being kicked off.
It does. It'll kick you. Yeah, you actually get strikes, and if you get 3, you're out. Or at least you're suspended. And if you get suspended like more than once, you're done. They'll pull the tech from you.
That's really interesting. And a great incentive to like watch what you're doing.
Yeah, oh yeah. They don't want anybody just messing around with this.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure. Now getting out, you just got to hold that top button there and push the door. Yep, there we go.
Oh, okay, great.
Perfect.
Thank you.